Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of Our Man's Night. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do very much appreciate it. And it looks like we have a bunch of people already in here, as usual, and I appreciate you guys being here. We have an interesting show for you guys tonight, which I think is needed to be talked about, because obviously there's a few things in this topic that don't get brought up a lot, especially with news media and social media and all that. So I think it's very interesting that we talk about this and put it out there, because it will basically, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of you out there will agree that, believe it or not, it will bring a lot of change within the system if we can, switch the genders and whatnot inside of our prisons. But nonetheless, before we get started, let's go ahead and get in the chat and say hi to everybody real quick. Let's go ahead and say hi to, real quick. Say hi to Curtis. Curtis is in here. How's it going, Curtis? Thank you so much for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our co-host and team player and team member, if you will, Tammy, to the show. Welcome, Tammy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you all tonight?
Well, we made it to another Friday. Can you believe that? We made it. But I'm just going to go through the chat real quick. Welcome in, Tammy. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, as always. And we got Tim Man in here. He said, greetings. How's it going, Tim Man? Thank you so much for you being here, too, as well. And Tim Man did say this. He said, almost a 10K subs. Congrats. Absolutely. And once we reach that goal, which I see happening here real soon, just a heads up for everybody, I'm going to do a 10K celebration right here on this channel. So you're all part of it. I think it's going to be epic. I think I'm going to do two things, one for you guys and one for our members. I think it'll be kind of neat to pull that off for a change. I haven't done any special member videos yet since I got members. And speaking of which, I have now 4 members. And earlier this morning, I think it was, I sold another shirt from one of my friends. We're doing big things over here, guys. What do you think about that, Tammy? Is that pretty cool?
It's pretty cool. Can I ask
Trey Stone, welcome,
favor
Trey Stone.
real quick?
Go ahead, Tammy. What was that?
I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
Your email. Can we post Charlie's Texas Cure for the youth, the at-risk youth and
That's a
troubled youth?
you know
into
my
the chat?
I got so sidetracked doing everything else. I totally spaced I was going to do that. Can you send that info to me, and I'll try to put it up tonight?
Yeah, because they're doing it tonight, but everybody can maybe we speak a piece on it at some point. But they do accept donations all the time, so just us mentioning it is going to be a big help to them, and they're fighting what they do.
Great, absolutely. So, that's the goal. I mean, as long as look, when people help me, I help them. It's kind of a win-win situation. So whatever they do, I'll do in return, just because, absolutely.
Yeah, they fight for our kids. I mean, and that's what I think is absolutely like that show we did just recently. It's a big show. Okay, so
go ahead. Yeah. No, you're good. Please send that to me, and I'll try to get it in here with that. I'm trying to think if I should do a actual podcast on that, or just do a little opening thing on it tonight, or what do you recommend? Should I just do something kind of special tonight, or should I make it an event out of it? It's up to you. It's up to you guys, really. I don't really care one way or another.
What?
The event that you were talking about that you need to send me, I forgot to have it up here.
Well, it's only going till 10 o'clock tonight. They have they just held a silent auction too recently, but I'm going to send it to you right now, and I'll come to read it to everybody in a minute. But go ahead, and then I'll let you know when I get it up here while you're doing that.
Okay, absolutely. Texas Mom's in here. Hey, Texas Mom. I'm glad to see you. Appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for showing your support and doing what you did. Keep me updated once you get your T-shirt. Keep in mind, I can look at the tracking and the shipping process. So if you come to any hiccups or whatnot, or if I come up with any hiccups with your order, Texas Mom, I will do what I can to let you know. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and ask everybody in the chat real quick, and including you, Tammy, while you're doing that, kind of get you out there. What do you think about tonight's topic? I mean, how do you feel about this before we get into the meat and potatoes of this? Because you know how I feel about this. So what's your take on this topic? And I appreciate you sending me this info because I think it needs to be brought up.
Okay, so men guarding women, I don't like it for a whole slew of reasons. One, I mean, I lean more towards the no, because we end up with inmates pregnant, then we end up with inmates falsely accusing officers to manipulate,
correct,
and do things. It puts the staff at risk. It puts the inmates at risk. The privacy of it all, I think, as a woman, for myself, I wouldn't want them gawking at me in the showers or coming and saying lewd things to me, which I know they do. I've heard it. Not all COs. Listen, this is not a CO bashing thing.
No.
Because there are good COs out there, but
correct.
The majority of the system is broken, and we've seen a whole lot more abuse than we have not seen abuse. Mm-hmm. And so on the female perspective, I don't think that I would want females around. I don't like the fact that a female could accuse my husband of something and him catch a case because a CO wanted to do something with him and he didn't want to and he refused, and then all of a sudden now he's getting case after case after case. I've seen that and heard of that happening with other inmates. And the vice versa flip side on the other side is the females on the males or the males on the females. It just would cut a lot of crap out of the system. The problem that they're using as an excuse, which I'm not so sure I buy that everywhere.
Welcome in, Vicky. I didn't say hi to you. Sorry, Tammy. Welcome in, Vicky. How you doing? Thank you. Go ahead, Tammy. Sorry.
Hi, Vicky. So the thing is, I think that the problem that they're trying to say is that they already have a staff shortage problem, which I know how they could fix that real quick. Give them friggin' AC and heat. I mean, it'd be pretty simple. People might want to actually work there. That's the first thing. Second thing is they're saying that because of that shortage, they don't have a choice but to hire mixed genders at the thing. But I can just tell you, it could be a trigger for some. If you were SA'd by a certain gender, and then you have that gender guarding you all the time or watching you shower or searching you,
that's awkward. That would be
for me.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. I mean, there's a whole slew of reasons, but yeah.
Right. Well, no, I agree. And if I may speak on some things too on it before we get into the data tonight, I wanted to say that I have my personal opinion on this, and I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and assume that you will agree with me on this, like everybody else in the chat. My opinion is no male, especially male COs, should be even near the showers while females are showering, if you get my drift, or even near the area at all while people are in the showers. And I'm going to say that for the men too as well, because that's creepy that you have to have a CO, no matter what male or female the gender is, watching them take a shower. I don't think that's right, personally.
No, it's not. It's wrong. It's just wrong for so many reasons. I just can't. I just
correct, Curtis.
Really can't.
Right. No, I don't blame you. And Curtis hit it right on the nail. Man should only work in men's prison. Yes, and I totally agree. And I got a lot of good feedback on that short video I did on my channel talking about gender switch. Females working in the female prisons and the males working in the male prisons. That's how it should be. But like you said, staff issue or shortage of staff and everything like that, it has an issue. But then yet still no excuse. I mean, it is what it is. But all right. So Tammy, what video do you want me to play first?
It doesn't matter either one, but real quick, if you want me to do Charlie's thing, I can just read it real quick in case anybody's in that area. It's at Lakeway, Texas, and
if you have the link, if you can send them,
I sent the link to Texas Cure so that you could just share that with anybody that wants to go join his group. They're really big. They're the ones with the half lawsuit for the lawsuit. They're half of the lawsuit. The Lioness Women's advocacy group, nonprofit, and then Texas Cure is the other nonprofit that are actually suing Texas over the AC. Sorry. So good. This one is fundraiser and entertainment night benefiting youth impacted by justice. It is at the they're having axe throwing contest, bowling tournament, laser tag, top golf, hoops arcade and competition. It is in Lakeway, Texas.
God, I'd like to be. I like to go.
Cure. I know. I wish I could have too. It is in South Lakeway, Texas, and it is tonight. They're doing it for 6 to 10. If I'd have had more advance notice, I would have tried to get this out there to all of you. But they are still taking donations, and they do a lot of like silent auctions and things like that because they have youth ambassadors. They really support our youth that's been incarcerated.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a good thing, and everybody's got their head on their shoulders. I really respect that.
Yeah, Charlie's really good. He was incarcerated himself. His story is really moving. Let me put it that way. Okay.
Absolutely. And to say this real quick before we get into the data, if I could be there, I would, and I'm sure you would too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to one of the videos. Keep in mind, I know the lady in this one video. I will share her name and whatnot. I actually subbed to her channel. I belong to her. I follow her and whatnot. And I think she does really well what she does over there and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and share that real quick, get that up on the screen, and then we're going to do another video. And then after the video, this is the part, guys, on Friday nights anyways, because I don't get to do it much on Wednesdays because the way things are working out. Just let you guys know, this is an opportunity for you guys tonight to have your voice heard after I show my data and these videos and whatnot that's going on. And it's your chance to get in here and say what you need to say, put your thoughts, opinions, comments, whatever you have. And for the duration of this podcast, it's basically like another setting of open mic with some data that I'm sharing tonight. So I think that's what we're going to do with this tonight, and then we'll go from there. If you guys have a show idea or some content or something that needs to be exposed or talk about, send it to us, either Tammy or me, at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Tammy, I think you're still working on your email, so just send it to my email, and the email's in the ticker down below, guys. Voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. And if I use your story, something good will come out of that. I'll put it that way. So anyways, with that being said, let me get in the chat real quick, and then I'll do the share screen. Tim Man said this: it doesn't just happen in one direction. Women's, SA harass men, prisoners also, and then if you don't go along, yes, they will threaten to make up assault charges on you. Really puts you between he said, rock and a hard place. Absolutely, because again, that's the other portion.
Yeah, that's like I said. They give them cases. Mm-hmm. They throw cases on them. I know one young man that went to prison here in Texas, and when he entered on the female CEO, well, she was more than just a CEO. She was ranking. Ranked. Let me put it that way. And she told him that she would do certain acts in lieu of him putting money on her Green Dot card. And he said, listen, he said, no disrespect, ma'am, but I'm here just to do my time and get out of here. And he ended up where? In the shoe.
Wow, imagine that.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, I mean, you're full of it. You can come up with a lot of imagine that segments. Anyway. Yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is her name is Jessica Kent. I follow her. I subbed to her channel. She's pretty cool. She's a former locked up individual. But anyways, she's a lot better than some, and I'm not going to get into it. But anyways, here's her video on this topic, and let us know what you guys think about what she says in the comment section. Here's the video, and again, all credit goes to her. I'm not taking any of this. And thank you, Jessica Kent, for putting this on.
male correctional officers were allowed to pat me down, a female inmate in prison. So when I was doing time in Arkansas, I actually did time in 2 different facilities in that state, and both facilities allowed any correctional officer at any time to pull you over in the hallway and pat you down. Now, this happens to me on a daily basis, whether I was coming out of the chow hall or medical or what have you.
Hell no.
They will stop you, pat you down, and then send you on your way if they don't find anything. Now, because they were male, they had a certain way of doing it, but they go like 2 fingers or 1 hand down your arms to make sure there's nothing in your sleeves, down your legs, and yes, under my boobs. They would do that all the time. And some officers were way worse about it than others. And every single time we complained to the warden, she would like just get mad about it. And she wouldn't care, you know, she wouldn't care that they got handsy or did some inappropriate shit. And this triggered so many women that were victims of sexual assault in their lifetime.
Wow.
Male.
Well, and yeah, that is absolutely crazy. So let me come into the chat real quick on that. And I want to get your guys' input on this. So what you guys just heard there, what do you guys think about that, what she said? You know, I'm going to be honest with you, personally, that should never have happened. So
Texas mom said, I feel institutions should not be co-ed, nor should they have opposite sex employees. I think that should go all the way through medical staff to vendors to all of that. If it's a male prison, send in male. If it's female, send in female.
Yeah.
And it's so scary when we just saw that stuff with the kids. Think about having your daughter or son, 2 daughters, incarcerated for whatever reason in a youth prison, and you've got these sick whatevers.
Well, if I may, right, and if I may, and this is a touchy subject for me because I'm a parent, you're a parent, we have some parents in here, obviously, and I have a son who's getting ready to hear real quick next month, turning 18, I believe it is, and I'm gonna look, man. I'm not going to go all out on this, but I'm going to say this: just the vision, just the thought in my head, knowing that he has to. If he goes in, I hope to God he never goes in there. But I'm just saying, just hear me out, guys. The thought of him having to experience and bend over, spread his cheeks, and have everybody look at his junk, and it just turns my stomach that you have to go through that for contraband issues and other factors. It's so wrong and so violated.
It is, and people do that crap. Context. Okay, here we go. Context. Well, if you didn't want that to happen, you shouldn't be in there. Well, you know what? Let me tell you, I keep meeting more and more people that are in there and shouldn't be.
Oh, I agree.
There's a whole lot more innocent people in there than I ever could have imagined in my wildest dreams.
Well, yeah. I don't think my kids, due to the disabilities, I don't think my kids would be able to handle it. They'll have a breakdown. They would crash.
Yeah. I just watched one tonight on Prison Talks, Bernard's channel, that he was showing a young man that has cut himself, his wrist so many times. His wrist looked like he was wrapped in barbed wire at some point and drugged somewhere. And that's mental health, and you can see it in his face. He looks broken. And people absolutely broken, and he's a human being.
And yes, ma'am. And you have to understand too, guys. Listen, being in prison, there's 2 sides, I guess, in a sense, in prison, depending on what you're watching, what kind of content's out there. Some people think prison's cool. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not cool, even though you got all these things that you see on some videos on social media, and even Hollywood likes to kind of doctor it and make it look cool. It's not what you guys think. There's a lot of bad things that happen in there. And I don't have enough time tonight to explain everything that goes on in there. And the sad thing is, a lot of it is unacceptable. A lot of it doesn't need to be done the way it does. And it's all for safety and security. They can take that safety and security and shove it up, you know what?
That's and then they get upset when these guards get attacked eventually because they're nitpicking like a female officer picking on a male because she's so hard up pissed because she's got a big chip on her shoulder. She's got issues, unresolved issues with men or
They
vice
push your
versa,
buttons.
or vice versa. A man with a woman, he couldn't get women to like him or whatever, and he's got an
Yeah.
asshole at complex,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You know
Yeah.
me, I'm just gonna shoot it out that way. Listen,
No.
I don't give a rat's patoot. If you're egging it on and you're egging it on, somebody eventually, anybody is gonna say, you know what? I've had a friggin' enough. Let's go. Let's go
Right. No.
rounds. I'm gonna go
No.
rounds with you.
And
And
I've
that's
and,
what
and me
happens.
correct, and you're correct, Tammy. And you also take into account too. I saw that happen. Some CEOs. Tammy is not lying or exaggerating on what she just said there, ladies and gentlemen. The pushing the button scenario happens a lot in there. These CEOs know how to do that because they know what they can do to you if they can get to your under your skin and push your buttons
And they've
and tick
read
you
your
off.
jacket. They know all your crap.
Oh yeah,
They know all about you. So they
then
know
you
what
got
buttons to push.
you
There
you
you
got
go.
that yep you got that scenario too. So you're an open book and
And
you're a
because
target.
of
You're a target.
charges, Curtis, you're right. They
Yep.
pick on certain people with certain charges.
Correct. You're a target, and they don't care. They get paid one way or another, and they get to go home to their family.
They sure do.
But yeah, and Texas Mom real quick said this, and we'll get into the rest of the details. Thank you guys so much for your comments and your questions and whatnot. If you have any, thank you guys so much for doing that. Texas Mom said this: the majority,
Mandatory.
mandatory. I'm sorry, I
It's
don't have my
okay.
glasses.
I'm helping. That's what I'm here
Thank
for.
you. Well, you go ahead and read it then.
You want me to? Are you sure?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
The mandatory lockdown in TDCJ last year was a huge eye opener for me of what goes on inside. Yeah, me too. Here's the thing, and Jay and I were talking about this last night after the show, or Wednesday night after the show. I don't know, one night. It's kind of funny how like they commit all these crimes and stuff like with the show we just did, and do you know how many criminal charges were brought against any of those guards, any of those COs, any of those county deputy jailers, any of all
Correct,
these
Tin Man.
None, not a damn thing.
Tin Man hit it too, Tim. Listen to this. Sharing your jacket is like a CO putting a hit out on you. And if, ladies and gentlemen, real quick to verify, if you don't know what a jacket is, basically it's a fancy word for your charges. That's what that means.
One better. I'll elaborate on that a little bit, Tin Man. So, in the prison that my honey went to, the first one that was in Beto, it's nicknamed Bloody Beto. First of all, if that tells y'all anything, this was between 2 and 4 years ago. Some COs got the bright idea of taking and making a comprehensive list of all the SOs that were on. I'm going to say alleged SOs because I know there's a lot of innocent people out there. So shout out to all of you. They made a comprehensive list, these couple of COs, and they gave them to some affiliated members to take hits out on all these alleged SOs.
Yeah, and I
begged to go to PC Up. There you go, and imagine that PC Up, and so yep, and they PC'd him for like 2 or 3 nights, and then put him back out there, and he got almost unalived, and then they PC'd him again, and then they moved the assailants. The affiliated assailants out of there to other prisons, but didn't move him and left him there and threw him back out in GP again. And he was so badly abused that, they got in trouble. I mean, Texas got in trouble, but those guards probably still work it for TDCJ somewhere.
And see, folks, that's prison politics. Prison politics, right there. What Tammy just said. Absolutely. The question I get sometimes: do we need it? Do we need prison politics? And I think a lot of you are going to be interested surprised on the answer. And here's the answer: you don't technically need it, but without it, the prisons won't run very smoothly. Prison politics happen in prison because it's like a scale. It's a balance. of certain things, just like Tammy hit on. And you got prison code and prison rules on top of that too as well. And if you don't abide by any of those, well, you become a target. Absolutely.
Well, and that's a problem. I wish that I had a way to talk to the people that run those different affiliated.
Correct, Tanks' mom. You're correct. Go ahead, Tim.
Exactly, the false stuff. You know, here's the thing. I wish they realized how much they're hurting themselves because of the way they're politicking. They're actually killing their own selves. They're making themselves stay in there longer. They're making prison all over bad for everyone. Right. Their families are out here suffering. Their girlfriends, their children that don't have mommy or daddy at home. All of that bullshit needs to be put to the wayside, and they need to figure it out.
Yeah, and speaking what we're talking about, here's a great example for you in a sense. Look at my friend Curtis. Welcome in, Curtis. Thank you so much for being here. He said this, Mr. Chris Hansen, and you all know who that is. Chris Hansen. I'm not even going to say what the show is. You all know. I'll maybe later down the road, I'll probably do something on this, but I don't want to get too deep into it because obviously we got other big plans going on right now, and I don't want to spoil it. But anyways, I believe Curtis said this, Mr. Chris Hansen, I believe, put my face on TV. Interesting. Did you get paid for it? Yeah, I need to look into that.
I mean,
because if it did,
it's like any other entrapment. That's entrapment. It really is.
Absolutely.
The way they did that show was entrapment. I'm not saying that it was the smartest thing for people to be doing what they were doing, some of them. But it's like anything else on TV, stuff can be taken out of context. They can
absolutely
parts of the conversation. If
it's Hollywood.
Ask, hey, how old are you? And they lie or they evade the question just because you didn't get an answer, but you asked. You see what I'm saying? It's like Curtis.
Tim Man hit it. That's what I was trying to say. Did they have you sign a media release?
Yeah, there you go.
Boy. That's what I was trying to get into. Thank you, Tim Man, for clarifying that. Curtis, you need to get a hold of Tim Man, and you need to get a hold of me. That's how I can help.
Yeah.
Oh, Curtis said no. Curtis said no.
Said no. That's what I said. Yeah.
Well, then Curtis, you got something. You can go after it. You didn't give consent.
That's my whole point. Like, they probably didn't show the whole transcript of what was said either, and that's how things get misconstrued and taken out of context. It's all
that's why I hate. That's why I hate the shows. I hate those shows. It's entrapment, and it's a fictitious, fake victim. It's not even a real person at all. Period. It's an adult acting like a child. Absolutely, Tin Man. He should be collecting royalties. I'd get on it. I need to look into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the facts tonight, and we'll open the rest up for panel for comments. So let's go ahead and do that right now and show this other video with proof. And I do this because I like to show this stuff, guys, because it's very, very important that we get this stuff out there. All right. Again, all credit and whatnot, before I play the video, as you guys know, all credit goes to News Nation for putting this on. I don't take any of the credit. Here's the video. Pay attention to the contents and the information in there, and we'll come back into the studio, and we'll take your guys' comments. Here it is.
A former corrections officer who worked at New York's Rikers Island for 20 years and is the author of the book Inside the Dark Underbelly of Rikers Island. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So you had male inmates try to con you when you were a corrections officer, yeah?
Absolutely.
How did they try and do it?
Well, they start out telling you the hair looks nice. You know, oh, you got on your shirt's fitting nice. Oh yeah, they'll say little things. And they'll ask you, can you bring them something in, some food in, a sandwich or something. And they start out minor. Oh, did you get your nails done? Oh, that's a nice hairstyle you got. Like they start out like any other man that they're trying to lie.
And are they trying to find women who have a weakness?
Well, they study us. And I worked in a male's prison, in a male's jail. They study us. They watch you every day. They listen to the officers
Absolutely.
talk about you. They listen to, they listen to my colleagues, the
Mhm.
male and the females. They watch you. They watch your mannerisms. They watch your attitude. They literally study
But
you.
what
So
about the female officers that are wearing the bedazzled butt ass
the way
jeans
you
and
handle.
stuff?
Say it again, Tammy. Go ahead. Say it again.
I said, what about the states where the officers just have a shirt that's part of their uniform and they're wearing bedazzled ass jeans across
Yeah.
their ass, or
They know what they're doing.
wearing tight uniforms?
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
it works both ways, folks. I get what she's saying, but I also get the seduction on the other side of the fence. We have to look at the big step back, look at the big picture on both male and female. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy, for that. Appreciate it. And you're correct. Here's more.
So, handle yourself while they're in your custody.
Did you ever get suspicious of fellow female corrections officers that no something was going on? No. But I remember a time a female correction officer said, "Oh, he's cute." I was like, "Oh, like he's a prisoner." Like, okay, like he's a prisoner. Like he's not cute like that. So talk to me. I mean, so these relationships do occasionally happen. It doesn't happen very often. But when it does happen,
whatever.
I assume that the relationship changes once the
Study
escape.
body language. The laugh.
Yeah. This is crazy. That was a crazy question because he says it doesn't happen. It does a lot more than he thinks.
Yeah, we all know.
I would guess so. Yes. Well, I mean, if you're helping them escape, now as a matter of fact, the relationship changes once an inmate or an incarcerated individual gets you to do something for them, whether it's bringing in drugs, cigarettes, or whatever the case is. Once they gain your trust, then once they get you to do anything, now they own you.
Yep.
So if you're escaping with an inmate,
they bought you.
Like this in particular, this chick, he owns her now. So she has to do basically whatever she says. And now it's probably went from, she's so madly in love to seeing him for the monster that he really is. To even put her in jeopardy like that.
So she
put herself in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Well, it's dependent. Is she a white supremacist too?
Oh, good Lord.
I was just looking at that. I mean, is she a white supremacist too? Like, they playing this thing for...
Play the race card. Here we go. Here's some more.
2 years. Like, I'm watching this. I didn't even realize that much. She might be in danger if she was just smitten.
Right.
She's so in love. And then now the reality hit her because she just gave up her life, basically, her career. She's retired. She might have gave up her pension, depending on the pension system.
She's giving up everything.
Huh?
She's giving up everything. She's done.
Yeah, but she still might get her pension.
Come on. She shouldn't get her pension.
But she still might get it.
Qualified immunity.
The law, because she got the money in the pension. The money is already paid into the pension.
All right.
So no, I'm saying she all right, but she might.
No, I don't know. I'm laughing
Well,
only because
money-
I hadn't even thought of the pension.
Yeah, I thought about the pension. I was talking earlier. She still get that pension. That's that money she put in it. But she still gave up everything. So my thing is, I think at this point, she might be afraid. And she might say, wait a minute, like the other chick, Joyce.
Yeah.
From the other escape.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this is went too far. I didn't really think this thing through.
Yeah, well, she cleared it.
He might have killed him.
Let's hope not. Robin K. Miller, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
to
you
have
for
you.
having me.
All right, guys. There you go. And again, thank you so much, News Nation, for putting that on. And all credit goes to you. Thank you. What's your take, Tammy?
Every time she laughed, I was like, okay, you know that you're going to lie out your mouth right now. Why are you going to sit there?
Yeah.
And why are you going to laugh it off? It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not
I found that video to be awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. Going into the chat here real quick. Tim Man said this: there was a young CO woman who would come in with a shirt and no bra. Oh, fancy that. And would bend at the waist so guys could see down her shirt. Oh, absolutely. See? And look, okay, look. I got to be careful. because when men are locked up and they're away from their wives, away from their girlfriends, men are craving and wanting that. So these female CEOs, they know exactly what they're doing, and that's why they do it.
And this is the whole thing for me. Like, think about a family unit. You have a man in there, his wife is at home, or even girlfriend, and they have kids together, whatnot. That causes, just like we have the arguments with and I think we'll get into that when we do our Pen Pal podcast.
Yes. That's coming up Wednesday, correct? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. We're going to do the Pen Pal, whole subject of Pen Pals. That may end up being 2 series too, because there's so much to it. But the funny thing is, it's like you have the husband and wife, or the boyfriend, girlfriend, or girlfriend, or male, whatever, right? Who cares? They're in a relationship. But then you have this person on the inside who has power and influence over this prisoner.
Right.
And they're sitting there and they're tantalizing them, teasing them, or maybe they do want a relationship they can't have a normal relationship out in the real world that they go home to. But these poor people that are incarcerated don't have the freedom to walk up out of there. And so it causes problems between their support system on the outside, because
Correct.
Damn well that it comes into their conversation at some point. Because, if you were sitting in there, you can't tell me, Jay, when you're sitting in there and somebody's messing with you, your wife can't tell by the tone of your voice that something's going on that you don't want to tell her about.
Yeah. No, you can. No. I'm gonna be honest. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm gonna be honest. There were some moments where it's like, do you or do you not say anything to your loved ones outside?
And we feel the same way on the outside. We don't want to tell you, hey, I went to McDonald's today.
Yeah, because we can't get that food in there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a respect thing on a certain level. But then, yes, you're correct. Sometimes it was hard to say, hey, this happened. But when my food or my commissary got stolen, I had to tell my wife, because she was the bank, and she kept me fed in there. I mean, I would be lost without my wife. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm not doing that as a kiss up thing. I'm just saying. I mean, she rode through me through all this whole thing. And it's a rarity.
It's so sad, because some people have very little support, and then they're going through this atrocious thing and they can't tell. Who do you go tell? You're going to go tell the warden, hey, officer so-and-so grab my crotch.
Yeah.
Or yada, yada. Male or female, doesn't matter. Said they were patting me down, their finger went inside. Whatever. You know what I mean? I can get really up on the horrific things that have been written to me asking for help.
Correct.
It needs to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's with all of this information being told here tonight, like you guys, a couple of Wednesdays back, we did a show on the new law that passed in July. And I think this is going to be a game changer in certain aspects. And I think because all of this crap that you're hearing tonight, I think it's going to be stopped in some form or fashion with this new law that passed. And I cannot wait to see
that can stop themselves, because some of those, let's face it, some of those in power are actually criminals, and they're actually mentally ill. And they will not be able to help themselves, and they will get caught eventually. But this leads to a way to catch them. So I don't know. I want to call the senators up, those Congress members, senators, and representatives, and say thank you so much for pushing this legislation through.
Correct.
They actually did something I'm actually proud of out of Congress. Jay, can we do something unique? I think it'd be kind of cool. Everybody that's out in the chat.
Sure.
Let's take a vote. We can all vote. Let's
thumbs up, thumbs down. Kind of like a thumbs up, thumbs down vote type thing. Yeah.
Either a thumbs up, or they could put Y for yes and M for no, whichever. However.
Okay.
I would like to know how many of you think that we should have segregation by sexes. male only staff, complete all male only staff and all female only staff, whether it's youth prison, county, or state, and state prison, federal prison, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So either put a thumbs up, or if it's easier, put a yes or no in the chat and let us know what your guys' vote is. Yeah, yes and no, I think will work. That's better. A yes and no in the chat, and let us know what you think about what Tammy just said. We got one vote already. Curtis said yes. Trey said, I hope they surveillance the COs, not just inmates. And that's where the body cam thing comes in. I believe there's a couple of states already doing it. It's either one or two states that are already. Texas got the body cams?
Not everywhere. They've just done it at 2. And I'm wondering how many COs are going to leave, flock, like they're going to be out because they're the ones bringing the contraband in. But I still think they can get away with a lot, even with body cams on. I want cameras all up and down the halls, everywhere.
Except for the bathroom area and the shower area.
Yep, of course.
Because I get people going, well, what would you feel comfortable if the camera?
I don't want it in the bathrooms.
Yeah, because I get the comments. I get the haters coming in sometimes saying, would you feel comfortable if the cameras are pointed towards the showers? I didn't say anything about the showers.
Well, the funny thing is, those same people are probably watching those kind of videos at home. So it just goes somewhere with that.
It looks like you, Tammy. Some good news. It looks like you win your vote. Everybody's saying yes, yes, yes. I say yes too. It's just not in the chat.
Yeah, I think we have the technology to hit every area of a room. I don't know why there should even be blind spots. I don't even want to hear the crap. They're full of shit.
Well, they do say that. Don't get me wrong. That is actually a true statement, because there are blind spots in prison, depending on how how it's constructed. There's always going to be a blind spot, and COs and the inmates know that, and that's what they use that shit to get away with some stuff.
Okay, let me tell you this: if there was no corruption, I am telling you, we have technology on this planet that they can catch every angle.
That is true. You're right. I should have finished. I should let.
They are full of horse manure to the max, man.
Fair enough. No, you're correct. They are.
I call it.
But their excuses.
Everything we do.
Yeah, their excuses. Their excuses. It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Thank you so much for getting in here. I appreciate you. I hope you're all well. I heard you're home now, and thank God you're okay to a certain extent. I don't know exactly what happened or what was wrong with you, but I'm glad you're out of the hospital. I hope the prayers that I've been sending worked, and I hope you enjoy your new T-shirt that you just got delivered at your house. I hope you wear it with pride, and hope I get to see some pictures with you in it. Nonetheless, but anyways, it is what it is, and thank you so much for being a true supporter over here on this channel. Much love and respect for you, and make sure you get some rest. And when you're rested and feel better, come back up in here and do what you do. But he said this, guys. Hey, guys, thank God I shut up quick enough to get over here and catch some of it. I appreciate you, Mark, nonetheless. But make sure you get your rest, because your health's more important than this podcast. All right. So prayers to you, nonetheless.
Yes, and we don't want to. We don't want you to watch this anytime even after the show. So make sure you're rested up. Your health is very important.
You got replay. You can watch the replay. Tim Man said, but what about guards disappearing into the shower and an inmate having a lookout? Yeah, they do that too. You're correct, Tim Man. They do that too. Absolutely. Trey Stone got in here and said this: no females in the dorms offended by shirtless men. He-Man live in here. He-Man live in here. Yeah, that was my favorite show when I was a kid. I love He-Man. All right. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate it.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with that one, because there are some men that I do not want to see shirtless. I promise you.
I get you.
Husband, I don't want to look at him. And there are some women that are actually offended by looking at some of those men. I promise you, they're not as hot as they think they are.
Oh, okay. Here's Mark's comment on what I said earlier. He said this: I love the new T-shirt. So he's a big fan and loves the T-shirt. So thank you very much for that comment there. Continuing on, he said, and the prayer is definitely worked because a man doesn't just fight through a acute pulmonary embolism. Ooh, is that what you had?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm not sure exactly what that is. Tammy, what is that?
Well, I mean, it's in his lung. It's
Yeah, I thought that was heart
breathing.
or something.
Well, pulmonary is your lungs, but I'd have to. I mean, you can get things in your heart and your lungs kind of have to work cohesively together because if you get a lot of fluid in your lungs, it can put pressure on the heart and cause issues there. So, yeah, I mean, it can be an issue, but depending, what side was it on, Mark?
Yeah, Mark, can you, and again, you don't have to. This is not where you need to get personal. But what side or
his heart, an artery, but I just don't know.
Tin Man said it's a blood clot in the lungs. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Well, it can be, but it's a blockage of an artery in the lung. So yeah, but
that's scary. It doesn't sound fun. It sounds scary.
But see, it affects your heart too because your arteries run all through your body and pump our blood, right? So
man, that's
not
scary.
being able to breathe and hurting. It's a lot of pain too.
Oh, well, here's some more info on Mark.
There you go. It went all the way to your lung. My heart almost went into failure. Yep.
Oh God, Mark, that's scary.
You feel like you're drowning, right, Mark? You felt like you were kind of drowning type feeling.
That's scary. Did you have to have surgery, Mark? So he said this, guys. I had several blood clots. One of them traveled to my lung. My heart almost went into failure. I couldn't breathe. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like feeling like you're not, like, you know, when you go underwater and you can't breathe, that's that scary. It puts you in panic mode kind of too. Anxiety.
I wouldn't want that to happen to nobody or my worst enemies. That doesn't sound fun at all. He says this, they managed to get 20%. Is that a lot or not a lot? 20%? I don't know. I guess it depends on. But he said 20% of it out, and they got the major blood thinners right now. Wow. Well, nonetheless, I will continue, and my team and everybody in the chat will continue to send prayers your way, Mark. And I need you to keep us updated if you can, please, or have somebody near your family to try to keep us updated on your condition. Much love and respect for you over there, and get healed. All right. We care over here. All right. Thank you, Vicky, for the prayers. Mark said this. Yeah, I was on full oxygen in the ambulance, and I could not catch air. Play one up through the groin. Oh, I see what they did. Groin, and try to suck the blood clot out of my lungs. They managed to get 20%, which was enough to save me. Wow. Well, it wasn't your time, my friend. You're down here for a purpose and a reason. God is great. We lost Tammy due to connection issues. I'm hoping she comes back up in here. Man, Mark, that doesn't sound fun. That's actually pretty scary. So, again, if you cannot, update us due to your health issue and whatnot, hopefully somebody in your family can try to keep us all updated. But again, all the healing prayers from me, from inside out, everybody in the chat, we send prayers, thoughts, and condolences, if you will, towards you and your family for quick healing. All right. So, man, get some rest, Mark. And again, thank you so much for being in here. Once again, he said this, I was in my right, it was in my right lung, but all the blood clots were in my left leg, excuse me. I've had several blood clots that have gone in after they put some balloons in my legs. How to create new routes for the blood. Man, that does not sound, fun at all, but nonetheless, Mark, we're here for you. Okay, Tammy, just stand by for a second. Let me do that real quick. Tammy needs the link to getting into the live stream, guys. So bear with me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. this link that I just put in can also be for any of you that want to come up in the chat and say hi to us if you want. But there it is, Tammy. I hope you can see it. Mark said this is all repercussion of that cool drug using lifestyle that has caught up with me physically. I see. I have been clean for 4 years, but the damage is done. I have emphysema. Welcome back, Tammy. Can you hear me? We can't hear you, Tammy. Sorry, guys. Try to come back. There. Can you hear me, Tammy? Okay, there you are. I can hear you now. All right. It said this. Basically, he has COPD now because of his lifestyle when he was younger, I guess. Man. And Mark said this real quick, guys. It's absolutely terrifying, not able to breathe, and hearing the doctor say we've got 2 hours or less, and he is going to go into heart failure. Oh man, that's scary stuff. Man. Anyways, so there's that. Mark said I went into the bathroom. That blood clot hit the lung. It went out, meltdown in front of my wife. Grabbed her hands and looked her in the eyes. Looked her in the eyes because I thought it was terrifying. I couldn't imagine. Tammy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just letting you finish.
Oh, okay. Trey Stone said this. Sometimes new female CEOs are nice. Yeah, there are some nice CEOs. I met a few of them myself. But they break down eventually, maybe because of inmates not respecting them, but they get absolutely domineering. Yeah.
Well, and this is the thing too, where we're talking about the policing of the prison being policed by the prison population. Why don't they get pissed about that kind of stuff? They have mothers, sisters, wives, girlfriends, daughters.
That's a good question.
You can act like an asshole to one set, but you can't do the other. Same with females, are no different. You have sons, you have brothers, you have dads, you have grandpas. Why would you want your counterparts? If you're gonna act like an idiot, you're gonna act like an idiot. Either you want to step up and be a leader, or you don't. And if they want to unalive me for the crap that I say, whatever. I don't care. I've got God, so I don't care. But my point is, why are you gonna? If you want people to look at you and respect you and you're some kind of leader, I don't care if you're an affiliate leader or not. If you want respect, then show why we should respect you. Even if you are a criminal, isn't there some kind of code of ethics with them even? And it's
there respect even in prison. Yeah, correct. And even in prison, Tammy and everybody in the chat, respect is a two-way street in prison. It's got to be both ways.
Yeah, like anywhere else. It's just stupid. So should I tell everybody about Florida real quick? Let me tell them about your state.
Go ahead. We're basically got the tail end anyways. We only got a few minutes, but go ahead.
It's a whole nice thing. So in Florida, any of you guys can go Google this. I should have looked up the name of the prison. They have a whole little system there. So the CEOs that knock up the women while they're in prison, obviously they don't have conjugal visits in Florida. So since female inmates are all housed together and they can't impregnate each other, I mean, that's not a thing. When they come up pregnant, if they can't get them to squill on the officers, then all the officers get DNA tested, supposedly. But they ship all these women to the same prison. There's like a pregnancy prison in Florida where they house these women. That would not be a thing. My tax dollars would not be paying for that thing.
Mine either.
That issue. Because it would not happen.
I get tired of my tax dollars, your tax dollars, everybody's in the chat tax dollars going on waste on stuff like this. I hate it.
It's ridiculous. We're paying to abuse human beings and do criminal things to them.
And I feel guilty because I got their blood on my hands.
Yeah, I do too. Because listen, anybody that's ever been put on death row, and I might make everybody upset with this comment, but I'm going to say it. That is not my job. It is not anybody's job to do that. And believe me, I don't care if you work for the state, the federal government. I don't care if you work for Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Or you're just a person sitting out there and going, well, they took my so-and-so's life. You know, they have to listen. One innocent person being unalived because they got falsely accused. And most of the time it is, I will throw up the race card on this one. Most of the time it is a race-based or a stereotypical, oh, that's a poor white person, whatever. There is always some kind of power trip behind it, but they arrest these people. They spend half their life on death row. Then they finally do unalive them. And then they'll come back a year or two later or 10 years later and say, oh, by the way, we got it wrong. This isn't Tom and Jerry, folks, where you come back to life every time.
Or the Bugs Bunny show.
Somebody's life. I want nothing to do with that. Right. I want nothing to do with being responsible for unaliving a living, breathing person on what I think is not my job.
Right. And again, here's the question. What caused the unalive in the first place? So we shouldn't even have the thought process of what's that?
The corruptions and the lies within our judicial system and within law enforcement itself.
Correct,
cops,
but
not all cops are crooked, but crooked cops.
Right, but what I'm saying is we shouldn't even have these locked up loved ones should not even have that thought process in their mind. If everybody would treat everybody in prison respectfully and kind.
Oh, I guess maybe I didn't explain myself. I'm so sorry. I'm talking about us as citizens paying our tax dollars for death row and death row to exist, period. People are getting unalived on death row by the state and by the government because they are charged with crimes and put in death row saying that they did this crime, and then they're coming back after they've unalived the person by, now most of it's needles, but we saw what Alabama did with the gas chamber. And they get rid of these people, and then they come back 20 something years later, sometimes a year after they're unaliving. The real person comes forward, or DNA or some kind of evidence that exonerates them, but the person's gone. We can't bring them back.
Well,
we cannot
yeah, no, you can't. No, correct. You're absolutely correct. But again, it should never have happened. Trey Stone said
never went to prison.
Right. Trey Stone said this. COs are bad. No, you're good, Tammy. No worries. COs are bad with money. Absolutely, they are. They don't make enough anyway, so they bitch about that too. Just keep in mind. I watched them use their phone all day, buying big ticket items off eBay. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hunting. Yeah, some of these COs got nice houses, nice trucks, boats. Hunting equipment, boats, trucks. That's funny. He just said concert tickets. If a government shutdown lasts a month, they have no money. That is true. They don't get paid. Curtis said it doesn't happen, Jay. I'm not sure exactly what part he's talking about there, but thanks for your comment, Curtis. I might be late to thought. I might have missed a comment somewhere. But anyways, Tammy, I think that's going to cover. I mean, if you got anything you want to say or have a closing argument, go ahead and kick it off. And
just guys, go ahead. Yeah, I think we got a tech delay because it sounds like you're like it's me or it's probably electronics. So to be honest with you, electronic failure over here. So
go ahead.
All I was saying is like it's a time delay between me and you. And I'm sorry. Anyway, all I'm saying is I think, honest to God, we could cut out a lot of cases that would not be levied against inmates. We could cut down a lot of sexual tension. We could cut down a lot of essays in there. and we could assault on either side by female or male officers against the opposite gender. I just think it causes more harm than it does good by having them in there, and I just think we would be better if we could make it all one unified sex in there and not have to deal with that.
Right. No, I agree, and that was a great closing argument, because again, something has to change, and I see, like you said to me in a private chat, I think it was either you or somebody else in the chat saying that this seems to be the truth year, the year of truth.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, and I think that honestly, I believe it. I see it. I see what you're saying. I feel it. Good night, Vicky. You take care and have a great weekend. Let's get a hold of each other and let's do something. Anyways, nonetheless, good night, Vicky. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Good night, Vicky. I will be reaching out to you this weekend sometime. I promise.
Okay. Tin Man said, night, Vicky. So yeah, everybody in the chat said, night, Vicky. Thank you so much for being here, Vicky. I appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things are changing, I think, at a good pace here at our studios here from Inside Out, and we got a lot of things going down the road. I got to highlight this real quick before I go into my closing argument. Hold on a second. Mark sent a super chat. Thank you, Mark, so much for doing that. I appreciate you. That's I think it's $10. Yep. Thank you, Thank you for the $10, Mark. God bless you. You take care. Get healed, and please, by all means, keep us updated on your condition. I hope you get well. Have a great weekend.
I'll put a prayer up for you, Mark. I know my grandmother had COPD. I know how scary it is.
Tin Man said, nothing can be done in the darkness that won't come to light. Absolutely. Thank you guys for your comment. I wouldn't
want to work in a prison, to be honest with you, because
I don't think I could either.
I couldn't stomach it.
Yeah, right. I couldn't either. Curtis, my man. Good night, my friend. Take care. We'll talk again, and take care of that issue you were talking about earlier.
Curtis, before you leave, what color polo did you want?
Oh yeah. Good question, Curtis. Tammy said, what color polo did you want, and what size is it?
He can email it to you if he wants.
Okay. Mark said, that's right, Tin Man. The truth always comes up. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this, guys, real quick. We got a lot of things happening behind the scenes. A lot of stuff I don't advertise for obvious reasons, and I won't, even if somebody's asked. I try to keep certain people's business private. But we got some things going down. I'm busy day in and day out, Monday through Friday, even when I'm not doing these shows. I really want you to believe that. This advocacy stuff never ends. And that's why I have to take, that's why I personally, like Tammy and everybody, we have to take breaks. We have to recharge our inner batteries, because this is so draining. It really, it does something to me and affects me in so many ways. But we got some good news. We got some things going down the road. Tammy's got some things that we're putting together, and we'll keep you guys updated all through the rest of this year into the new year. We got some major things happening, and we're going to share it with all of you guys. Coming up this Wednesday on our From Inside Out podcast, we're going to be talking about the pen pal scenario and the ups and downs on that. And I think that's going to be an interesting one. But besides that, I can't stress this enough to all of you that are listening real quick before we go. If you guys have a story, or you got a locked up loved one, or you have something going on that needs to be exposed or brought to light for us, we will have no problem putting it up here and talking about it. So get a hold of me right now, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Let me know what you got going on, and we'll take care of it from there. These things need to be exposed, or we can't fix it or change it. Anything you want to add to there, Tammy, before we bounce?
I just want to say, listen, for those of you that are here, we love you very much. The ones that aren't here, we love you still even more. And listen, the thing is, guys, this whole advocacy, it takes all of us. Each one of us matters just as much as the other. No one more than the other. No one more on a power trip or any of that. We are here to support each other, love each other, grow, and learn how to facilitate change in the prison system. And
Correct.
yes, we're talking about the juicy, raunchy, dirty details of the pen pal scams, as well as the pen pals that turn into fairy tale happily ever after when they get out. There's a flip side to every coin. And so we're going to get into all those dirty little details Wednesday. I think it's a very interesting, crazy, fun, funny, awkward, taboo for some subject.
Well, and I think a lot of you guys in the chat will be surprised that, pen pal stuff it's supposed to be positive in a sense. Don't get me wrong, but there can be some crooked aspects of it too. So you guys will be surprised. And then let's see, a few more chats here in the chat. Tim Man said, "I love you all. Thank you. Much love and respect to you, Tim Man, for that."
Can you pin Charlie's Texas Cure so they can go back to it later?
I don't have it in here.
Okay. I sent it to your email.
But did you? Let me. Well, okay. Yeah. One second, guys. I'm going to go to my. Absolutely.
Go check him out. He's very helpful and knowledgeable for a lot of people.
We have a lot of good people in here on the same page that want the same thing we all want. So that's good. Bear with me 1 second.
And I'll read the comments. Trey put, "Love to the inmate feeling unloved." Yes, I mean, listen, there is a very integral, very important part of that. That's why I said it may end up being a 2-part series, because we may get into the scam part, and then we may have to get into the other part of just having human interaction in there. There are so many people that'll complain about their commissary. I mean, there were men in there screaming at their mothers and their wives when my husband was in county. And he said, babe, I have to just keep myself together because I can't stand that. He goes, there's so many people in here that have nobody. And these guys are screaming and hollering at the ones that are sending them food and doing everything for them. So, there's a whole...
Degati Girl. Welcome in, Degati Girl. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Don't worry about being late. It's all good. You can watch the replay. But it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so guys, here's that link. Make a copy of it while you're here before I shut this thing down, and take that link and try to get involved with Texas Cure. It is
Charlie Maloof is a VP there, and he is one heck of a guy. He does a lot of advocating for youth, but also adults. Male, female, doesn't matter. They are fighting like hell right now against Texas over the heat.
Right.
Her crashing.
Yeah, I had to laugh. I had to smile. She makes me laugh. She goes, "Never mind me crashing men's night." Yeah, that would suck, especially if you're riding your bike. Anyways, we should start Tim said we should start a former inmate to inmate writing program. That sounds interesting. They need to hear messages of hope from those of us who have been where they are. Absolutely. That sounds interesting. Now you got my wheels.
Programs actually, but we can.
You got my wheels turning.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, guys. Well, Tammy, as always, thank you, my friend, for being here. I appreciate you and helping me out with this podcast. And everybody in the chat, I'll call some of you guys out here. Degati Girl, thank you so much for being here. Even though you were late, there's no big deal. There's a replay. Tin Man, thank you so much for being here. We have Mark. Thank you so much, Mark, being here. Get better. Let us know. Keep us updated on your situation. Curtis, thank you so much for being in here. Oh, Mark, thank you so much for the $10 too, if I haven't said it already. Vicky, that was in here earlier. Thank you so much, Vicky, for being in here. And all the rest of you that were in the chat tonight. I appreciate every single one of you guys. This village, as we know, is getting bigger and bigger and stronger. I'm starting to feel it and see it. You guys are awesome, and I love and respect every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting this cause. Tammy, it was a wonderful night for Friday night. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yes, definitely. You guys have a great weekend, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And be safe and try to stay cool because I guess I hear we'll have another heat wave coming. Another heat wave coming.
What's 110 with the heat index today?
90 something plus here for me. I mean, I'm not gonna exaggerate. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick before I bounce. This is true, and it's cool. It was 90 plus in my room in this studio, but this is how hot it is right now. 87 in here. I'm still cooking. So it is what it is. And that's with my AC on too, by the way. All right, guys. Well, anyways, good night, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys this coming Wednesday for our podcast on the pen pal scenario. I'm looking forward to that one. Well, anyways, good night, everybody. Take care. Peace.
Bye.